Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk all things major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much more. I'm your host Chris, and recently, over the last few days, we have had a ton of updates, news drop, things that need to be discussed, things that should have been discussed, and of course, Ms. Marvel and Obi-Wan Kenobi dropping new episodes. So I thought to myself, let's have a mega update. What's in a mega update, you might ask? Well, today we're going to be talking about Lightyear, Jurassic World, Ezra Miller screwed up again, the Black Adam trailer has released, we'll be discussing Ms. Marvel and Obi-Wan Kenobi, Doctor Strange Blu-ray cover, Kate Bishop maybe showing up in a Ms. Marvel episode, Deadpool, TV spots for Thor Love and Thunder, the Groot series, She-Hulk, and the Flash movie. We'll be discussing all of that in today's video. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our other major movie and television news updates or any other potential mega updates, which is a new series that we've just started now. You can also check me out on Instagram at Chris M. Rosser and Twitter at TheCultureChris. Links to both are in the description down below, or you can use the QR codes on the screen. Okay, so mega update. Let's start with Lightyear. So the red carpet event was last night, and we've now heard words from all of the lucky individuals and the critics who were able to watch the film, and it sounds like there's more to this movie than meets the eye. Yes, it is a Pixar movie. Yes, it has Chris Evans in it. So those are already two big wins, and if you're into animation, if you're into Toy Story, it sounds like you will be very pleased with the story that is given here. It sounds like there's a lot more action and sci-fi involved in it than maybe was originally anticipated, whereas when you see anything from Pixar, you're also kind of expecting it to be geared towards children. It does sound like they have aimed this one a little bit at the people who grew up watching Toy Story as well. So yes, it's still animation, yes, it's still probably geared towards kids, but for those of us who grew up watching Toy Story and who want to know the origin story of Buzz Lightyear, you will not be disappointed, so it sounds. Jurassic World, however, is not doing so well in the critics' eye. I actually just read what Big Screen Leaks put on Twitter saying that it was almost not even watchable, that there were people in the premiere falling asleep, and that it's very boring, that the cast does in fact make it a more enjoyable movie, but that overall they missed the mark with what they were looking for. I've heard this also from several other people who were able to watch the movie at the big releasing event. So it sounds like not the greatest reviews coming from Jurassic World. However, keep in mind that probably 4 or 5 of the Jurassic Park franchise movies all have bad scores on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's a pretty cult following franchise with a ton of people who really enjoy it. So maybe the world's cup of tea isn't Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, but if it's something that you enjoy, I always encourage that you go watch the movie and don't not go see it because a few people who got to see it a little earlier than you didn't enjoy it as much. I always recommend giving it a watch, and I'm a big fan of Jurassic World. I think they've done a good job continuing on the franchise without changing too much or retconning anything. The canon has been preserved, as many people like to say, and I think it's been a lot of fun, so I will definitely be going and seeing this movie, which has been teased to not be the end of the Jurassic Park franchise, but the beginning of a new era. Let's talk about the Flash movie, because now this one has done very early screeners, so there's still a lot of editing to do, but it's getting a ton of great reviews. People are saying that this movie is very good, which is very great news, because it has to be good. This is a movie that DC has put all of its eggs in one basket with. This movie is supposedly supposed to save the franchise as it opens up the DC multiverse. We will be exiting the DCEU as the main timeline and entering the DC universe, because let's be honest, the DCEU was a failed experiment and it's time for something new and something better. Allowing the Flash movie to open up the DC multiverse will give DC the opportunity to now explore characters pairing and characters coming and going from all different facets of the multiverse. So it was integral to the success of any future DC projects, especially if they want to connect universes and so on, that this movie did a very good job. So it's really good to hear this early on that the movie is very well liked. However, Ezra Miller has done another no-no. He was just recently arrested for selling drugs to minors and providing alcohol to minors. And if that wasn't enough, the parents have also stepped forward and said that the kids were intimidated and that they were threatened into purchasing the drugs and the alcohol from Ezra Miller. Nobody really knows what is going on with Ezra Miller. However, there might be some help that needs to be put out in that guy's direction. He's been just all over the news with sorts of problem, threatening a couple in Hawaii that he was going to kill them, getting kicked out of a party, getting arrested in Hawaii several different times. It's just been not so great. Now the big question is, will Warner Brothers do anything about it? Because if I'm being completely honest, I don't really care what Ezra Miller's doing. I mean, I don't want him to be out there doing bad things, and I'm not by any means protecting what he's done. It doesn't affect my life, and as a consumer of movies, it really doesn't affect my opinion on the film either. However, Warner Brothers has made it pretty clear that if you do something wrong in the eye of the media, we're going to kick you out of our movies, as they did with Johnny Depp. So are we to expect that Ezra Miller will not have a job in the future as the Flash? Because it seems like it might be too late to scrap the entire film. They cannot get rid of Ezra Miller's Flash without starting over the entire movie or completely scrapping it and doing what I want them to do, and that is just reboot the entire DC universe. Take Black Adam and Shazam and create a brand new DC universe. You can use Robert Pattinson's Batman if you want, recast Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Cyborg, all of them, and start over. That is what I would like to see happen, but I doubt that that's the case. That's a lot of work. People like Aquaman, people like Wonder Woman, and a lot of people like Ezra Miller's Flash, although I would argue the majority of people probably don't. With that being said, Ezra Miller is in trouble yet again. However, the Flash movie sounds like it is being received well, which makes me think Warner Brothers might just try to ignore anything going on with Ezra Miller to begin with. While we're talking about DC, we got the Black Adam trailer yesterday. If you haven't checked it out already, I highly recommend doing so. This movie seems like it has an awesome, serious focus. I know a lot of people who are critics of The Rock, not that everybody is. A lot of people really, really like The Rock. I myself included really enjoy what The Rock does as an actor and as an individual and as a person, but a lot of people who are critics of The Rock say maybe he doesn't have what it takes to play a serious superhero, or anti-villain in this case, and it seems like from the tones of the movie, there weren't very many, if any, sarcastic comments made. There weren't a lot of jokes. It was very serious, it was very intense, and quite frankly, the cinematography and overall power of Black Adam looks like it's going to be an absolute blast. Just because The Rock's in this movie to begin with already pushes the box office numbers up, but as it looks like it might be a very high quality and good, well created DC movie, that might also make this movie one of the biggest superhero movies of the year. On the agenda for our mega update are the releasing of Ms. Marvel, the entire franchise, and episode 4 of Obi-Wan. We have a whole new superhero in the MCU, and her name is Ms. Marvel. Well, actually her name is Kamala Khan, but she's going to become Ms. Marvel, and we're learning more and more about her character, as this series has surprised fans. The majority of people going into it probably would admit they weren't as excited for Ms. Marvel, being that it was more geared towards children, and nobody really knows who this character is. Now, don't jump on me just yet. You don't delete whatever you were just about to type in the comment section. I know a lot of people are familiar with who she is from the comics, but the majority of people who I have spoken with aren't. They know her from the video game, and many people don't even know her from that. So because of the lack of knowledge of who this character was, although there are some out there who do know the character very well, but overall the majority of people seemed like they were a little standoffish to the reception of Ms. Marvel. However, it turns out that she had a great reception. Her show was very well received. The animation, the Imagineering behind it, all of that fun stuff that they've added has set us up for a very exciting series, and hopefully they can continue that on, as we will be getting the second episode next week. Now, quick little hint, I've seen the second episode, and I think it is just as good if not better than the first, as we follow Kamala Khan on her story. Now, while we are talking about Ms. Marvel, we'll continue the mega update with a little bit of news that in the credits for the first episode, we saw that there was a very specific makeup artist who was given credit. Now, this was the makeup artist of Miss Steinfeld, who plays Kate Bishop, who is a potential Young Avenger next to Ms. Marvel. Now, the rumors are flying around that we might be seeing Kate Bishop, who may approach Ms. Marvel at some point throughout the series or in a post-credits scene to invite her to join her in her new secret group that she's putting together. And that could be the first hint at the Young Avengers being organized that we will be getting, and I hope that that is the case because That would be really fun. Let's just be real. I want to see the Young Avengers. I think Kate Bishop was fantastic. And Ms. Marvel so far has also been wonderful to see on screen. We also have to talk about Obi-Wan. The 4th episode came out and we only have 2 episodes left in the series. A series that many Star Wars fans have been begging for years and years is already almost over. And of course, in true Star Wars fashion, tons of fans are whining and complaining about certain aspects of the series. Is it perfect? Probably not, but since I'm not hypercritical, I'm having a great time with it. I think overall, it's super fun to watch the series, to follow the story, and to get more information about what was going on with old Ben before he was truly old Ben. We did get some pretty horrific scenes in that 4th episode, but overall it was relatively mild in comparison to the 3rd episode, but hopefully it has set us up for a massive finale in the 5th and 6th episodes, which will be coming out in the coming weeks. Let's talk about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. We just got our first look at the Blu-ray cover. I know a lot of you guys out there love collecting the discs and love having all of that different kind of collection put together. Well, here is what they said the Blu-ray cover is going to look like. They've also talked about a couple deleted scenes that you should expect to get if you buy a copy of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which include, and doesn't confuse me a little bit, some scenes that were already in the movie. Namely, Bruce Campbell questioning whether or not Doctor Strange was actually the real Doctor Strange, and also Bruce Campbell celebrating when he no longer was punching himself in the face. Both of those are included as deleted scenes, which they were in the actual movie, so I don't understand that. And then the third one, which does seem interesting, is the press questioning whether or not Doctor Strange did the right things. Specifically says questioning Doctor Strange's tactics. Now this is going to be most likely in reference to him versus Thanos when he gave Thanos the Time Stone. We saw a little bit of this during the wedding when he was approached by another doctor who said, maybe you could have done it differently as well, maybe we didn't have to suffer, maybe I didn't have to lose everything, and they're all questioning whether or not Doctor Strange made the right call. Of course, Doctor Strange knows he made the right call as he saw every single combination there was out there, and that was the only way they won. But that will be a pretty cool deleted scene to see, as it will connect us back to the Infinity Saga and give us a little bit of stories of post-Endgame action. If you haven't heard already, we've gotten some updates for Deadpool 3, which yes, will be in the MCU, and yes, has the support of Kevin Feige. Recently, we've been talking to people who've been involved with writing and people who have been putting the film together, seeing all the details, including Ryan Reynolds himself, and they've asked, is Disney going to cut you off for some of your jokes? Is it going to be rated R? Disney is relatively well known for keeping things above board, whereas Deadpool's more likely to keep things below the belt. Well, they said that they've had full support so far. The jokes that they've come up with and the things they've put together have been A, very Deadpool, and B, well supported by Disney. Now they know if they cross a line, Kevin Feige might step in and say, hey, we should rewrite this one, but up to this point, they've had full and absolute support. We know Ryan Reynolds has been working around the clock even during his sabbatical from acting that he recently took, so I'm very excited to see, one, where they connect Deadpool into the MCU, whether it's going to be a behind the scenes kind of thing where he's been there the whole time trying to figure out where he fits, or if it's going to be a completely different story like Deadpool kills the Fox universe. I'm here for it. Deadpool is my favorite comic book character of all time, and I cannot wait to see how they play this out. We are now getting TV spot trailers for Thor, Love, and Thunder. Now this is exciting for a few reasons. One, Thor, Love, and Thunder is the movie that has had the closest amount of time between the releasing of the first trailer and the releasing of the movie in the history of the movies. You guys remember the hype and the excitement between Spider-Man No Way Home and the release of the film, and everybody going on about, oh my gosh, the movie's coming out so soon, we don't have a trailer? Well, Thor Love and Thunder's release of the trailer was even closer. In fact, this movie is coming out in less than a month, and we've seen now 2 trailers, one a teaser trailer and one a full trailer. I'm hoping we will probably get one more good trailer prior to the releasing of the tickets to announce the release of the tickets, and then we will have a bunch of TV spots. We've already seen 2, one that had no new footage and one that had a little bit of new footage, but that's how Disney likes to do it. They love to roll out those TV spots, and we will be getting tons of them in the coming weeks. Also, we got our first poster and release date for Groot. I Am Groot, the series coming to Disney Plus, which will be releasing on August 10th. The poster looks like a lot of fun, and we know very little about this series, other than James Gunn questioned whether or not we should be expecting this to have any relevance to the future of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So it sounds like it's mostly just a lot of fun, and there's not really any pertinent information there. So it's also probably geared towards kids. She-Hulk comes out on August 17th. If you missed that, that was also announced. So lots of content coming our way for the remainder of the year between Black Adam, Jurassic World, the Flash movie coming out later on, and then of course we have the Disney Plus projects, more Star Wars projects, and much more happening. This was a mega update. Let me know if you liked it. I thought instead of talking about all of these things in a long drawn out video, one at a time, let's talk about all of them together in a long drawn out video. So that way we save a little bit of time and you guys get the updates as fast as possible. So let me know if you enjoyed Mega Update and if you found it helpful. If you did, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell, and let me know in the comment section down below which of these you're most excited for. I am very excited to see Jurassic World, although the reviews aren't that great for it. And of course, Ms. Marvel and Obi-Wan have been a blast so far. Thank you guys for watching to the very end of the video, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.